So we got the tire off. Balancing a wheel is basically about being level, which I am, and free rotating and letting gravity do the work. Now you'll see a lot of videos with guys that have the Harbor Freight balancing stand is this way. It's basically got a couple of bearings sitting like this that rotate. You set a bar on top of those in the V, and that's your rotation. So the point of that system is to get a free turning wheel with no resistance. You could just put the axles down on the jack stands and use the bearings that are in the wheel. However, it's true that they have quite thick grease in there, and they might not be as freewheeling as you want for balancing purposes. What I've done is use a couple of free spinning open bearings that I've oiled that fit the shaft, that fit the axle, and they're going to be my rotation. So there's our valve hole. You can see it's directly at the bottom. That's the heaviest part of the wheel. Alright, now I'm going to take it, I'm going to rotate it just a little, let go, and see what happens. Alright, it moved back right where it was. I'm going to rotate it up to 9 o'clock position. Stop the wheel, let go. Okay, back to the same position. 3 o'clock. Same spot. Oop. Wait. Yeah, same spot. So I think we can say with pretty good confidence that the heaviest part of this rim is right at the valve stem. Even without the tube on it, which is interesting to me. The reason I wanted to do this without the tire on it is because you can't always trust that that's going to be your heaviest spot. It may not be. Now it's definitely going to be heavier when the valve stem's in there, because you got a little bit of extra weight of the valve stem. So when we put our tire on, we know that that's our heaviest spot, and that's going to be important. The other thing I want to do while it's up here, I want to put a dial indicator on the rotor, make sure that it's still within tolerance. I also want to put a dial caliper on the rotor and make sure it's still within tolerance. It feels good, it looks good, it should still have some life in it. So let me turn this around and let's take a look at the other side. Alright, this is our pulley, and you can see all the wear in here. Now I'm going to go through and I'm just going to check all the teeth, make sure there's no chipped teeth, make sure I don't feel any burrs or anything like that. This pulley's still got some life in it. It's not done yet, but it is getting a little close. What this will do is it'll start eating into the belt. And the reason that they get worn like this is because the belt picks up dust, debris, dirt, and just kind of grinds it into all these teeth. And over time they just kind of wear out. But again, it all feels smooth. I think it's still got a lot of life in it. The belt I have on is relatively new, so we're going to go ahead and go with it. It's turning really straight as well. I'm going to check the spokes, and the way I'm going to check the spokes is just by sound. Just going to take something and they should ring just like that. Try to hit them in the same place so you'll get a different tone. That one feels a little bit different in tone. I'm going to mark that one to make sure that I check it when I get the rim strip off. Just going to put a little mark on it. Check it's tight. So I'm going to do that on both sides, and what I want to hear is that ringing sound. Now, I'm not going to have to adjust spokes because I'm looking pretty true on the wheel. I'll check it with the dial caliper here in just a second, but I don't think it's going to need any adjustment. But I may want to check that spoke to see if it's tightened up. I'm going to do that on both sides. Alright, let's check the brake rotor. Okay, I have almost 10 thousandths there. That's right on the edge. About 8 thousandths is the maximum you want, but let's check it again. Of course, now we're dealing with a dirty caliper, so it's going to have some little rust spots and whatnot, but pretty much I'm looking at about 10 thousandths. So a couple thousandths over what it should be, or what you want it to be, I should say, but it's not so far out that, you know, I don't feel comfortable with it. I wasn't feeling any pulsation in the back or anything, so, and that's what'll happen when they get a little bit warped. They'll tend to pulsate when you're braking a little bit. I haven't felt any of that. Brake pads look good on the back. They don't seem to be wearing unevenly. So the next thing you want to do is take off the old rim strip and take a look at your spokes. Got a couple little spots of rust. Nothing terrible. We're going to clean that up with a wire brush. And let's go ahead and check the one spoke that I felt a little bit dull. Alright, finally found it. It's this one right here. Just going to put a little turn on it. We'll check it again. Sounds a little better. Put a little bit more on it. Okay, then we'll go ahead and we'll check this side. I haven't checked this side yet. Okay. Now that I got the heavy stuff off, I can take some steel wool. See, Harley guys even like the inside of their rims to shine. Alright, that looks really good. Nice and clean, no major rust. Really nice. So then we can grab our new rim strip and put it on. Find our valve hole. It's got a cutout. These have a cutout or a side cutout. Put it in there like that. Stretch it around. There's our valve hole. Make sure our rim strip is clear of the valve hole. And get it all packed in there nice. Nice and even all the way around. All right, rim is back on the tire machine. Let's see what we're looking for here. Rotation rear, that direction. So that direction. We're also looking for dot. Hopefully you can see that. There's a dot right here. That's gonna should end up at the heaviest part of the rim, which is what we determined earlier where the valve stem is. So we're going to get that started close to there, which is right here. We're going to squeeze it on as much as we can. Grab a tire iron. Kind of nibble at it. Just like that. That's one side on. Pull it up a little bit. Make sure our dot's in the right place. Roughly. And we'll get the tube. Alright, I like to fill my tubes up before I put them in, just to make sure that they are good. Also gives me a good idea of the orientation of the valve stem, because this is a side valve. It's not straight in the middle of the tube. Valve core out. It's a good time too to put some baby powder on. And the baby powder just helps the rubber not to stick to the rubber in the tire. Don't lose that piece. That's the goes inside, goes up against your rim. So I'm out of baby powder, but I've got some Gold Bond, which has got talc in it, and we'll just liberally put that on. Just makes the rubber a little bit more slick. I'm going to attempt to put a little bit in the inside of the tire as well. Pull the tire up, squirt it in. We'll go in there and just kind of move it around in there. All right. Now we can start working our tube in. We're just going to kind of tuck it in evenly. Try to keep it from twisting. And then you can make adjustments to it. That's the nice thing about the talcum powder. It allows you to rotate it a little bit. Too much. All right, now the fun part. Get the valve in the hole. All right, I'm gonna run my hand all the way around. Make sure I'm not snagging my tube anywhere. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some air in the tube. Valve stem's still out. With it like that, I can kind of go around and just feel and make sure that it feels even all the way around. And it does, feels real good. All right, now with this side of the tool, I'm gonna go up and under the tire. First, baby powder. Alright, because of poor design on my part, I'm going to have to rotate the rim here at this point. I had to squeeze the tire down so I could get it down in the groove farther. But you know, again, is this easier than doing it on the ground? I don't know. Maybe. Basically, I'm just gonna finish it off by nibbling it on the way you would with normal tire iron. So, what have I learned here? Again, it's less work than being on the ground. Go ahead and tighten up this valve stem. Put our valve core back in. And bring it up to about 40 psi. Pop. All right, that's 45. I don't hear anything leaking. Tire feels like it's seated all the way around. Looks even. All right, I'm gonna bring it back down to 30 psi. Or about 35. I don't know if I mentioned before, but this is a Shinko tire, and it's the same size it's supposed to be on this bike, and it is a white wall, not a blue wall. It's just got a protective coating on it, which is good because you got grease all over it. I'm gonna give this tire a shot. I've never used these before, but they're significantly cheaper than the Dunlops, and the Dunlop that was on there I was not very impressed with. I found it a little bit lacking in traction, let's say. So we're going to give this one a shot. I think this one is actually a little bit smaller as well. It's the size it's supposed to be on the bike. I think somebody had put a larger tire on the bike. And I don't know if you noticed, but I was having some rubbing. Yeah, you can see here. See, this is rubbing on the belt from having a wider tire on the bike. So this is the proper tire size. And I think this one is actually made in Korea. Yeah, made in Korea. Or maybe the sticker's just made in Korea. I don't know. Anyway, let's go put it on the balance and see what we can do. Go ahead and take the sticker off. Maybe. There we go. Now, I didn't mention before, but I actually still have a weight on here. I was going to leave it on there to see if the tire balance. You know, we got lucky and the tire balanced the way, but it didn't. So actually, let's go ahead and take that weight off now, since we know we're going to have to add some weight. And let's see what it is without the weight on it. There's the weight that was on it. Okay, so the same thing again. Let's go again this way. The valve stem, before we took the weight off, was here. Now it looks like it's ending up over here. Okay. Okay, same thing again. So let's say this is our high spot. I'm going to add basically the closest to well, that's like we almost didn't add any weight at all. It's going to need a lot more weight than that. That's weird. So I scavenged a couple more weights. Off another bike I had. Obviously I'm not gonna, well, I don't think I'm gonna run with all this, but it'll let me know what I need to procure. That might be the right amount. Okay, I'm going to do a spin, and if it ends up down there at the bottom again, if the valve stem is down there at the bottom again, that either happened randomly or because I don't have enough weight. So let's find out what happens. Alright, valve stem's at the top this time. Spin it again. Let's go the other way. Alright, that time the valve stem ended up over here at about 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Let's go the other direction. Valve stem's over here at 7 o'clock. Now, you know guys, this is like watching paint dry. And you can be as anal about this as you want. But basically what you're looking for is this. where it'll just stop in any position. I like how that tire is tracking on there. Looks good. Yeah, you can take my word for it. It's tracking really nice. The center of that tire is just really nice. Really happy with that. And again, I said before, this is going to be quick. This is going to be dirty. Dirty balance. This is dirty balance. You know, buy yourself the setup or make yourself the setup. And I'll probably do that. I'll probably make one of those in the future. Because, you know, they probably are a little bit more accurate, but really the key thing is to just make sure you got a really nice, smooth, free turn. Don't got any hard spots or anything like that. So I'm going to end it here. Next video we'll put it back on the bike. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh these weights that I put on here, mark where I had them on. And I'll probably go ahead and just go buy an assortment and then of new ones to match them up and try to put one on. I don't like running with a bunch of them on there. And I also like it when it doesn't roll back. Like it's coming up to a stop now. Is it going to roll back just a little bit? It might need a little bit more weight. And it just a hair. That's not bad. That's not bad. You notice the valve stem's up here, the weights are over here. So I think I'm really close right there. So I'm going to go ahead and weigh those and see if I can get a single one put on there. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you dropping by again, and we'll see you next time. Like I said, I'm going to put the tire back on. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If not, leave a thumbs down. And leave me a comment. You know, let me know if you don't like this setup. Let me know. Tell me why. Tell me why you don't like this setup. And that's fine. I totally understand. We'll see you next time, and ride safe.